Welcome to High Plains Western Heritage Center. Opened in September of 1989, the center provides more than 20,000 square feet of presentation space, honoring Western legends and pioneers whose rugged individualism created the unique landscape and economies of this 5-state region. The center had its origins in the 1950s as the first possible home for the National Cowboy Hall of Fame. That facility, inspired by the plans for this building, was eventually built in Oklahoma City. But work went forward in Spearfish, led by the efforts of State Representative Edgar Gardner and Western South Dakota rancher Harry Blair. With true pioneer spirit, individuals and organizations joined forces in fundraising, and finally in September of 1977, the ground was broken for the High Plains Western Heritage Center. Today, the center welcomes thousands of visitors each year to come and learn the stories and the legacy of our unique American Western heritage. We welcome you today to learn about and experience this most unique part of the United States through our exhibits and displays. During your visit today, you'll see the High Plains Western Heritage Center is comprised of the main level, an upper level, and the grounds. On the main level, you'll find Wyoming sculptor Gary Shoupp's 17-foot plaster sculpture of James Tennessee Vaughn, our country's most well-known trail boss. Moving cattle from Texas to Dakota Territory's railheads was a vital cog in our 19th century economic progress. In our Cowboy Hall is the story of the 1902 Cowboys who led the nation's largest cattle drive ever right here on the High Plains. Even in the Wild West of the 1800s, there was a sense of fashion, as seen in our main hall display windows. Many of these dresses were worn by ladies attending performances at the local Matthews Opera House. In the adjacent display are several Native American artifacts. Check out the story of the mystical ghost dance shirt. The official sport of South Dakota is rodeo. And in the Rodeo Room, you'll find world champion saddles and buckles, and the stories of the toughest bucking broncs, legendary entertainers, displays honoring our rodeo queens, and even rodeo movie stars. In the early Pioneer Room, you'll discover the major economic drivers of the region, from mining and forestry to agriculture and tourism. See if you can find the gold in this rock taken from North America's largest gold mine, the Homestake. See a replica of the legendary Thone Stone. The original was found in 1887 on nearby Lookout Mountain. Its story, dated 1834, challenges our thinking about traditional Western U.S. history. Artifacts of General Custer's 1874 expedition through the Black Hills are on display in the Custer Hall. You'll also see the Medal of Honor awarded to area resident Private Peter Thompson, one of only 2 survivors from Company C at the Battle of the Little Bighorn. A highlight of the transportation room is the actual Spearfish to Deadwood Concord Stagecoach, one of the last stagecoaches in the U.S. still in use for fare-paying passengers as late as 1913. You're also invited to climb inside this turn-of-the-century Studebaker coach for a picture. It's a real Surrey with fringe on top. Along the back wall is the country's largest barbed wire collection, proving that ranchers indeed had an outlet for their creativity. Our Bruce Miller Theater has hosted all manner of Western entertainment. And here you'll also see a variety of displays, including this rare 40-star U.S. flag. South Dakota was the 40th state. On the upper level of the center, you'll find an authentic sheep herder's wagon from a century ago. Shepherds would live here for months at a time. It's the first RV. Be sure to visit our Prairie Parlor and Kitchen to see what modern looked like in the early 1900s. Can you identify these gadgets? In the Frontier Room, you'll find yourself on Main Street 1890. Visit a nearly life-size blacksmith shop, a saddlery, the post office, the newspaper office, and a saloon. On the grounds of the center is the original Crow Creek one-room schoolhouse in use until the 1920s. Also on the grounds, you'll find a collection of antique farm implements. Throughout the center, you often see volunteers in red vests who give their time and energy to making your visit more enjoyable. Don't hesitate to ask them or museum staff any questions you may have. Also, stop on the main floor bookstore. Here you'll find a wide selection of books, handcrafted, locally made gifts, and jewelry. We want to say thank you for visiting the High Plains Western Heritage Center. My, how time flies.